What's happening, Hoodlum Gang? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Hoodie from the Hood, aka your friend from that big old N, and I'm back at y'all with another video. Before we get started, go ahead and do me a small favor. Man, hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you like the content, if you want to become a part of the Hoodlum Gang, and also go on over to IG and follow me at Hoodie from the Hood. Without further ado, we're going to get this out the way. I'm a little bit hungover. I don't know why I was so turned on a Tuesday. I mean, I wasn't like outside really like doing nothing. I was just drinking a little too much for a Tuesday. So yeah, I figured I'd take a few minutes out of my work schedule to bring y'all this video, because I had just watched a video uploaded maybe about an hour or two ago by Gunners Collective, where he spoke on 50-50 yards and does it matter to the blacks. Now, I already did a video about 50-50 yards maybe last week or the week before. I don't know. It's one of my recent videos. The homie S-Bone, shout out to S-Bone, he also spoke on it too, from our perspective and what we think about it. Now, Gunner, for the most part, he was on point for the most part. It was a few things I didn't agree with, but hey, that's his interpretation of what he saw, as far as being on 3s and 4s and people coming from certain yards. I don't know when's the last time Gunner did a turn. I don't even know if they had 50-50 yards for everybody else. I know they had 50-50 yards for non-active Northerners. I was on one of them, Jamestown, 2013. The Northerners were not active. The whites, the Southerners, the blacks, everybody else is good. But for some reason, within their own little organization, they were not supposed to stay on that yard. And if they did stay on that yard, they were deemed no good. So that's technically a 50-50 yard, because the Northerners are no good, but everybody else is. I don't know. So basically he was talking about from what he's seen and how things go, and it's true. Blacks, our politics are more relaxed. I said this in my last video as well. It's because we can't get validated. We're not up under a prison organization. For the most part, we're just individual gang members that come to prison from the street. Like, there is no hierarchy telling us what to do. This is why blacks in the prison system don't get hit with RICOs and all that crazy stuff, because it's not no organized thing. You're gonna have these niggas doing their thing from over there, these niggas doing their thing, one person from over here, two people from over there. It's shit like that. It's all loose. So he was right about that, about validation and our rules being more lax, because there's no hierarchy. It's everybody individually trying to politic their own groups. And that's why situations like this vary as far as the 50-50 yards. Now, I can speak on my hood. And when I say my hood, I mean specifically the San Diego 40s. I think the LA homies is on the same tip, but I can't quite say for sure. One of y'all could tap in with me, let me know. Niggas got my line, whatever the case. But like S-Bone said, we don't have no rules that says you have to get off. It's not written in stone nowhere for blacks to get off. I personally think you should get off. I don't know why you would want to program with them, but that's just me. But no one says you have to do that. Now, from the homies that I talk to that's on 3s and 4s, but mainly 4s, that's really, you know what I mean, doing it on a high level, at a high level, as far as they programming and they cripping and they politicking. 50-50 yards is out. And if you chose to stay on one and you end up coming back there is going to be an issue coming to you. That's just my hood. I can't speak for everybody else. Of course, there's probably some people that's going to sweep it up under the rug if some of their homies or their brother or their cousin come near, or especially if you're from a smaller gang where you don't run into your homies like that, and then you see a homie and you like, oh, I know he was on that yard, but shit, it's only two of us here. Like, of course people going selective politicking. And that's dangerous too, because somebody might let somebody slide, and then if they end up butting heads later on, then he gonna be like, cuz was on the 50-50 yard, or blood, or you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, you know, it's time to politic on this dude, but niggas gonna look at you weird too, like he been here the whole time, you know. But people can always manipulate the situation, act like they didn't know or they just found out, whatever the case is, homie. But if you hit those higher levels, if you come back and hit them higher levels, you got an issue coming. The reason why I would say, I mean, you know, with phones and everything nowadays, and social media, it's pretty easy to find out where people was at. But there is people that was on that other side who now feel like they're GP again because they're programming with some people who will be considered GP. So you could have been on that side. Now you trying to creep back over to this side. Like, I don't know. It's an issue, homie. Yes, our politics aren't as tight as some of the other ones, like I said, because we're a loose knitted group as far as black people. It's hard to get black people to go up under one thing and everybody to be on one accord. I don't know why. And I mean specifically African Americans over here in America. I'm quite sure in Africa or Jamaica or wherever other black people is at is probably different. But in this country, I mean, that goes back to slavery, man. I just feel like once the niggas found out Massa couldn't tell them what to do, no other nigga ain't gonna tell you what to do. That's just my theory on it. I know, like, I made a video about this too, checking paperwork and all that, and that's very loose too. I just feel like overall we just don't trust the system. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you have numerous situations where police falsify paperwork, women lie on motherfuckers all the time. You know what I mean? We seen it all the time, man. We seen what happened with Emmett Till back in the days. You know what I mean? We seen what happened with the Central Park 5, where them dudes didn't even do that to that girl. We seen what happened with Tupac. But other races will be like, oh, well, he's in there for that. And instead of probably doing their due diligence, they just, you know, they handle their business. Just like Gunner said, you know, you in here for what? What charge? And they get off before you even finish your, you know what I mean? That's a strict program. Do I necessarily think that that's tough and gangster? It's neither here nor there. But pretty much, you know my answer to that. Like, I feel like giving your people they just do process. You know what I mean? And really getting to the bottom of it instead of just jumping the gun. No pun intended. I feel like that's the best interest if you claim to be for your people. And that's no disrespect, but that's just how, from what I've seen, that's how we rock. Like, if I know you from the streets and I know, like, that's not really what it is, you know what I mean? Like, then of course I'm gonna speak up. But you know, other people don't care about that. Just, oh, he's in here for what? Oh, is just what it say in the paperwork. I don't know. But we definitely care about, like I said, somebody come home. Yeah, I didn't seen homies that came home from 50-50 yards. It does change how motherfuckers view you. There's no way to slice it. And most of them, they are trying to work and stay out the way. And, you know, they might pop up every here and there. And this is every hood. Well, let me not say every hood. And when I say every hood, I meant Crips and Bloods. But let me not say that because I'm not from every hood. But I will bet my bottom dollar that it's niggas that came home from 50-50 yards in every hood, homie. And they're able to mingle to a certain extent. Of course, there's going to be certain individuals and line pressers that's, you know, they ain't fucking with it. But overall, they're in every hood. I just feel like once you make that decision, you should probably fall back. You know what I mean? Just, you know, that was my thing with CMAC in my video. Like, he came home a little too high power from where he just came from. You know what I mean? You would have thought he just came from the shoe or level 4 or something. Like a straight war zone or something. Like, bro, you came from... And like Gunner said, you can't say, oh, it was a small group of us that was active and everybody else was custers. Well, why y'all didn't get on them custers so you can get off that yard? That was my thing. You pointing out who fought, who didn't fight, who was making enemies' mamas cry and who's not. And it's like, bro, you sat there and programmed with them. So take something off of that. That was my problem with that. Of course, people start getting in my comments like, oh, why don't you get on them about what yards they came from and all this weird shit. It wasn't about the yard, bro. It was about him being high powered. The yard to a certain extent, like, I don't fuck with it, homie. And I know a lot of homies that was touching them yards was ordered to remove themselves from that yard. And a lot of them did do it. Some of them didn't. Like I said, if they ever go back, you got an issue coming. That's the decision you made to stay there. And other homies will make their decision now to what extent they're going to go to discipline you for that infraction. I don't know, homie. And even if I did know, I wouldn't tell y'all. But yeah, we do care about that, homie. Gunner, you can't say we don't care. I'm telling you for sure, as a black man, as a Crip, with homies in the system, we do care. At least in my hood, we that is really frowned upon, homie. So it's not like you could just get out and just, nigga, you just, you know, politicking and calling niggas out for fades and busting on shit. Like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it, homie. Shit, you kind of got to tread lightly when you came from one of them yards. Because that's the first thing a nigga gonna say when he get into it with you. Like, nigga, you just came from a 50-50 yard. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Like, you ain't got no real weight like that. Now, that don't mean you a punk. It just means your credibility ain't as strong as it was before you went in. And that's just the facts, homie. That's just the facts, homie. You can get mad if you want to. Don't get mad at me. Show up to the next hood day and see if you got any type of pull like that. Or show up to the next event where you know a gang of homies is going to be there, whether it be some type of meeting or just anything where, bro, you're not going to have no voice inside of them circles where they politicking, homie, and that's just the facts. So, will you be deemed no good like these other people and all that? No, not to that extent. And like I said, depends on the individual. You know, some people will feel some type of way. Some people don't give a fuck. Some people sweep it under the rug. Some people gonna bring it to your front door. It just depends. But anyways, man, this video is already too long. I feel like I'm rambling. I just wanted to get y'all a video out just based on what I seen from Gunner. So, yeah. Do blacks care about 50-50 yards? In my opinion, yes, we do. Yeah, it's not cool. But anyways, it's your boy Hoodie from the Hood, a.k.a. your friend from that big old end. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm out.